whispers that shouldn't exist. Mara had always found comfort in the quiet corners of the town library, where dusty books offered worlds untouched by time. But lately, her attention had shifted to the neighboring house, a crumbling relic long abandoned and whispered about in hushed tones by the townsfolk. One evening, as the sun sank behind the trees, a faint sound caught her ear. It wasn't the creak of old wood or the rustle of leaves. It was something else, almost like whispers, soft and fragmented, leaking through the cracked plaster of the house's walls. Drawn by an uneasy curiosity, Mara stood frozen, listening as the whispers twisted and turned, teasing her with indistinct words she couldn't quite grasp. That night, sleep eluded Mara. The whispers echoed in her mind, half-remembered phrases that felt both alien and intimate. She returned next day, notebook in hand, determined to record whatever she could hear. As she approached the house, the air grew heavier, thick with an unspoken tension. The whispers were clearer now, weaving through the silence like fragile threads. Disjointed names, fleeting warnings, a tremor of sorrow. Yet, when she pressed her ear to the cold wall, the words slipped away, leaving only a hollow void. The line between reality and imagination blurred, and Mara began to question if the house was speaking to her, or if something inside her was listening too closely. Days passed, and the whispers turned into a haunting melody that seemed to follow Mara everywhere. She noticed shadows flickering where none should be, and the once familiar streets took on a strangely distorted hue. At the library, books she'd never seen before appeared on the shelves, old journals, diaries filled with cryptic entries, as if the house was reaching out, connecting her to forgotten stories. One entry spoke of a family lost to silence, their voices trapped within the walls, begging for release. Mara's heart pounded as she realized that the whispers might not be echoes of the past, but warnings tethered to something still lingering, watching, waiting. One evening, driven by a mixture of dread and determination, Mara returned to the house with a small recorder. The whispers welcomed her like old friends, coaxing her closer to a forgotten basement door hidden beneath tangled vines. The air grew colder, and a thick silence swallowed the world outside. As she descended the creaking stairs, the whispers morphed into a chorus, a dissonant symphony of lost voices, pleading and accusing, their tone both sorrowful and desperate. Mara's pulse raced, the air seemed alive, pressing against her skin. Suddenly, the voices fell silent, leaving only a suffocating stillness that threatened to consume her very thoughts. She fled the house trembling, the recorder clutched tight. Back in the safety of her apartment, Mara played the recording. At first, there was only static, but then faint whispers emerged, but not just from the house. They spoke her name, softly, intimately, as if the voices had followed her home. The words were indecipherable, yet laden with a weight that chilled her to the core. Mara realized the whispers weren't bound by walls or time. They had become a part of her own mind. The line between the haunted and the haunter blurred, and she knew some voices, once heard, could never be silenced. Days later, Mara returned to the library, hoping to find answers in the forgotten archives. Among the brittle pages, she discovered a faded photograph of the family rumored to have vanished in the house decades ago. Their eyes seemed to follow her, filled with warning and sorrow. The whispers had shifted, no longer distant murmurs, but a persistent echo in her thoughts. The question lingered: were these voices a curse, a call for help, or a trap woven by the shadows of the house? Mara chose silence, knowing some mysteries are safer left unsolved. Yet, as she closed the book, a whisper brushed her ear, a soft reminder that some walls hold secrets that never rest.